Om Namah Shivaya. Many answers are already have been given by people. Already there are 100 plus answers and many opinions. Actually, not many. There are two opinions. First, that he was a vegetarian, और second, that he was a non-vegetarian. और अगर आप लोग ये वीडियो इसलिए देख रहे हैं कि मैं ये प्रूव करूंगा कि राम जी नॉनवेज नहीं खाते थे, तो आप गलत हो. मैं आपके सामने फैक्ट्स रखूंगा, proper facts from the Valmiki Ramayana, and you guys are the judge. Okay, so the first mention of meat in Valmiki Ramayana is by Prabhu Shri Ram. It is a statement to his mother. This is the shlok, and the translation is, I shall live in a solitary forest like a sage for 14 years, living off meat and living with roots, fruits and honey. I agree, the Sanskrit word amisham means meat, but it also means object of enjoyment. हाँ मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं कोई प्रूव नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको लॉजिकली बताता हूँ. ओके, तो अगर आप आमिशम की डेफिनेशन सर्च करते हैं तो इट हैज़ टू मीनिंग्स. द फर्स्ट मीनिंग विच इज़ फ्लैश एंड द सेकेंड वन विच इज़ एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ एन्जॉयमेंट. ऑनेस्टली टेल मी विच ट्रांसलेशन मेक्स मोर सेंस, the one that translated to meat or the one which translated to the object of enjoyment. If we translate it into meat, it can be interpreted in two ways. First, that Ram used to eat meat before, but since he is going to the forest, so he left it. But now tell me, if he already was a meat eater, he really doesn't need to leave it, because in forest it's easier to hunt animals and eat them than finding vegetarian food items, which is poisonous most of the time in the forest. If we say that since he was going to live like a Muni, that's why he said it, then also it doesn't make any sense, because he really didn't adapt the whole lifestyle of a Muni. वो अपनी पत्नी के साथ रहते थे, वो अपने साथ शस्त्र रखते थे, just like a warrior. So the Sanskrit word should be translated to object of enjoyment only as it makes more sense. Now are you getting it? Be with me. Okay, so the second time the word flesh is mentioned here, I've talked about this in my recent reel also, having shown Mandakini river in that manner to Sita, the daughter of Mithila. Ram sat on the hillside in order to gratify her appetite with a piece of flesh. Second shloka translation है, Ram, whose mind was devoted to righteousness, stayed there with Sita, saying, the meat is fresh, this is savory and roasted in fire. Okay, so this can be used in that way. Okay, so the Sanskrit word used here is mams. Okay, it can be argued that the word mams means flesh, but it also means pulp of the fruit or just pulp. अब आप वापस यही बोलोगे कि कौन सा फ्रूट जो है आप रोस्ट करते हो, तो अभी जैसे ऊपर फ्रूट, रूट्स एंड हनी बताया था, वैसे ही आप रूट्स को रूट्स नहीं बोलोगे तो मान लो ट्यूबर जो होता है, पोटैटोज एंड ऑल, वो इट इज़ कंसिडर्ड एज अ रूट, राइट? तो उन्हें हम रोस्ट करते हैं खाने से पहले. ओके, देन वी हैव अगेन एन इंस्टेंस इन विच इट इज़ said that Ramji hunted 4 deers. Okay, so let's have a look on that. I'll be reading the translation here. You guys can see the shlok. Having hunted there 4 deer, namely Varaha, Rishya, Prisat and Maharuru, the 4 principal species of deer, and quickly taking the portions that were pure. Being hungry as they were, Ram and Lakshman reached a tree to take rest in the evening. Remember this one. Here it is clearly mentioned that they hunted 4 deers and took portions that were pure, although there is no specific mention of them eating it, but it is said that they were hungry. The Sanskrit word used here is called medhyam, which means pure portion, although medhyam also translates to barley. Yeah, right, barley. The other side of people will say they were in a dense forest, not in a farm, so how could they find barley in dense forest? Bullshit! Now I'll recite the previous translation. Be with me. Having crossed the great river, Ram, the high-souled, the bestower of boons, equal in glory with the guardians of spears, then reached progressively the prosperous and the happy land of Vats, which contained rows of beautiful crops. Now do you get it? कि बार्ले के फील्ड्स कहाँ से आए? ठीक है, एक हमारा इंटरप्रिटेशन था. अब ये वाला तो फैक्ट है, सीधा सीधा फैक्ट है. Okay, so we have seen verses where meat is mentioned. Now let's see some verses where Ram and Sita spoke about fruits, roots and honey. I'm again reading the translation because अभी मैंने गलत प्रोनाउंस कर दिया तो तुम लोग जान खा जाओगे मेरी. Bathing 3 times a day in the river and living on honey, roots and fruits in your company, I do not desire for the kingdom, nor do I long for Ayodhya now. Leaves, tubers, and fruits, either little or abundant in quantity, brought and given by you yourself, will be like nectar to me. I shall live only on roots and fruits always. In saying this to Lakshman, Raghav, the enhancer of magnificence comfortable, resided in that province which is with many fruits. अब एक और फैक्ट आने वाला है आपके पास जब हनुमान जी सीता जी से मिलने जाते हैं. Again, I'm reading the translation. Ram is not eating meat nor indulging even in the spirituous liquor. Every day in the morning, he is eating the food existing in the forest, well arranged for him. That's all I wanted to say on this topic. He ate fruits if he found them, he ate roots if he found them. But by what is understood to me, he didn't consume any form of meat whatsoever. Now I have presented some facts. You guys are the judge. Comments में मुझे बताइए कि आप क्या सोचते हैं कि क्या वो खाते थे या नहीं खाते थे. Again, this is open to all. Just respect my ideology and I'll respect yours. और जो लोग मुझे बोलते हैं कि भाई तू रेफरेंसेस दे दिया कर इस वीडियो में, आपको वो भी मिल जाएंगे. हरिओम.